I like to say that the greatest resource of any nation, any community, right, is human resource, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should be doing things that nurture human resource. Hip hop at one time seemed to be something that we could nurture human resource. We could fucking communicate with each other, build with each other, network with each other, be creative, own our creation. The creation has value. We feed the community, right? That's something that we did without the corporation. We were forced to do it for self, right? Now we talk about the corporations, the billion-dollar corporations, and how they kind of have so much influence. Now, the name of this segment is hip-hop culture and the power of shaping opinion, right? So we got hip-hop, the real hip-hop in the street that shapes opinion, and then we got the corporation that shapes opinion. Who's winning that battle right now?
Come in. I mean, it used to be that the streets dictated what went on in hip-hop. Now hip-hop is dictating what goes on in the streets, and I'm confused because hip-hop is funded by the corporations. The corporations push forth what products that the people should be drinking, smoking, the pills. Big Pharma, Molly, those are, that's $1 billion industry, Molly's, Percocets, and all that. That shit is created in laboratory. You know what I'm saying? So I remember growing up as a black man, you probably had a headache, and my grandmother would be like, take this medicine. And you like, hell no, I don't want to take no pills. I don't even want to drink cough medicine for a headache. Medicine was always considered to be disgusting, nasty. Now motherfuckers is drinking this shit for recreational use. So what happens? You start drinking the lean, you got to drink it with soda. So now they're making songs like called Dirty Sprite. So Sprite gets money off of the backs in the blood off the people. Fanta gets money. Jolly Ranchers get money. It helps everybody, where the corporations are making money, and it's all off of being marketed and sold from hip hop. For example, people don't know, it's a lot of people who say little buzzwords and say shit, and they're funded by companies. Like when Jay-Z said Motorola, two-way pays me. You think he said that shit because he didn't get a check? No, he said that shit because he was paid to say that. You think he's making songs like Tom Ford because they're not cutting checks? You know what I'm saying? So now, if we know the destruction that Molly's, Percocets, OxyContin, and even lean is doing to our people and the youth, why aren't we holding these artists accountable for marketing that shit to people? Because at the end of the day, they're getting checks cut. You know what I'm saying? And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't, if I made Percocet famous, why wouldn't I go to Percocet and say, yo, hold up, man, I need fucking $2 million. I just sold X amount of records, and the name of my song is Percocet. Like Run DMC, what they say, hold your Adidas in the air. Fucking thousands of people held the Adidas up, and then Adidas was like, let's cut them a check. So the difference is wearing Adidas is one thing, using drugs is another. You know what I'm saying? That's selling death, to the people. So the streets, at one point, we would say that shit is whack. Crack was whack. Or what, niggas drinking malt liquor? That shit is whack. We don't do that shit. And the corporations been trying to push shit on us.
No, hold on. Now you was there, right? So talk about 1986 to 1992 in terms of the mind state of the people, and it's like the hip hop, the transformation that hip hop went through, and you can see it in the streets as well. Talk about that.
Well, in '86, I was very, very young. I wasn't even really able to come outside and shit like that. I was young. But by the time in 1992 is when I first was able to come. But I still was out. I could play on the stoop or play on the block. I just couldn't travel. But the consciousness and the sentiment of people was trying to be wise. The 5% Nation had a big, big influence on hip hop from 86 to 92. So everybody wanted to be conscious. Everybody wanted to be black and proud and not be a fool and not be stupid. And then after that time, this is when the gangster rap came, and then it was just like, yo, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Those words are so powerful because it went from like you had it for self-destruction, love your brother, to man, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when I was growing up, one of the main things when you had house parties, you know, I'm not talking about the house parties with the beer and the weed and all. I'm talking about the house parties with the bowl of cheese doodles and a bowl of fucking popcorn and a bowl of potatoes and the fucking virgin punch and spades, where everybody just came under one roof with camaraderie, just wanting to have fun and bug out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what hip hop was in 86. Everybody just wanted to have a good time. You'd be lucky if reggae came on and you got to grind up on a girl. Shit, they play slow music at house parties. You know what I'm saying? That it went from that to everybody being loving. I'm not saying it wasn't crime. Not saying shit didn't happen. But house parties were mainly invite only. A nigga couldn't just come walk in. Because it'd be like, yo, who you here for? Who you? You know what I'm saying? House parties were very intimate. Parties in general were very intimate, where everybody knew each other. And that's where some people might have bagged the girl and might still be with her to this day. So from 86 to 92, you know what I'm saying? It was very, very conscious of your surroundings, politics. You know, George Bush, niggas was like, fuck George Bush. Niggas was like, fuck Ronald Reagan. And they deviated from all of that to just being just fucking niggas who just don't care.
Let me add on to what you're saying, right? So from 86 to 92, I was 17 to 23, right? Mm-hmm. And I watched crack hit 83, 84 in East Orange and took out like everybody around me. Either they was dealing and got locked up, or niggas started using and got caught up, right? Hip hop said crack is whack.
Yep.
Right? By 92, pretty much everybody's smoking weed, and if you smoking crack, you a clown.
Yeah, you a crackhead.
You're a crackhead, right? So the culture said, no, we're gonna do something else and make something else, you know, our thing of choice, because this shit over here is fucking us up. Now, somehow we kind of lost that, to your point about people, you know, pushing the Percocets, they pushing the lean, they pushing all that stuff, right? And that's like kind of the takeover for the next generation coming up. And the disconnect is not really understanding what happened in 83, 85 with the crack, and then how we as a community, just, you talking about between KRS, Chuck D, fucking just all the rappers, East Coast to West Coast, was like, that shit is fucking whack. We're not doing that. Helped our community out a great deal, right? So you see crime, they like to say, oh, it's not as violent now as it used to be, like raw statistics. It's not as violent now as it used to be, because hip hop provided another way out for people other than basketball and drugs, in my opinion, right? So the power of hip hop in terms of shaping opinion and why the current opinion is what it is, we see it's make its way to mainstream. For instance, the whole Flex Tupac situation. Why 20 years later, that comes back up? And it seems like just it's fermenting beef for no reason. Can you address that?
You know, honestly, I haven't understood Funkmaster Flex, the person, for a long time. Funkmaster Flex, the DJ, the technical DJ. I'm not talking about the records he plays, because there's a difference. Some people play records. Some people actually can DJ, scratch, blend, you know, cutting. He's a great DJ. The records he played, I'm not too fond of, you know, the records he played, but as a DJ, technically, outstanding.
He can rock a party for real.
Definitely. I don't understand. For me, you know, I believe if you have beef with somebody, you have beef with them forever, you know, even in death. But when you're dead, what the beef is kind of, you know, it's not going to be talked about. Now, if somebody asks me about somebody, I'm gonna be like, yo, I didn't fuck with them in life, I ain't fuck with them in death. But I don't have to trash somebody because they're not here to defend themselves. Now, I think Flex, he didn't. I'm an internet veteran. I've been on the internet since AOL Instant Messenger, since AIM, since the chat rooms, since message boards. That's how long I've been on the internet. A lot of these dudes are new to the internet. They're new to social network, which we all, but it's the same aesthetic as far as trolls. People say shit to me to get a rise out of me, and I know what you're trying to do. I cannot let you control my emotions. Now, Flex previously said something about Tupac at I think BB King's. He was like, fuck Tupac, I don't fuck with Tupac. This is maybe like 6-7 years ago. So I'm pretty sure it's people who remember that. So people like the train wreck, right? So people make you synonymous with certain things. So when you speak, and you might be talking about fucking Duncan Hines fucking cake, somebody will say, fuck you for dissing Tupac. Now, you feel like you have to defend yourself. So you might even be off that, but somebody bring you right back to that same sentiment. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Now, for him to go on a tangent for days, I thought it was kind of corny, because let's keep it real. Funkmaster Flex, you not no street nigga at all. Like, you're not a street nigga. You know, me, you know, I don't have to say what I am or anything like that, because you are what you are. But Flex ain't no street nigga. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, yo, you look crazy. Because one thing about myself is when I do shit, I always confer with my homies, with my family and my close people to say, yo, am I dumbing out? Am I bugging out right now? And some people say, yo, you wilding. And some people say, nah, you right and exact. I don't like people, anybody who eggs me on to do something that's going to jeopardize my freedom or my life is not a friend to me, right?
Yes.
Tupac has been dead for 20 years. All these faces Flex making and all the gestures. I'm like, he really practiced all this shit. Like, he must have been sitting in the mirror, getting his faces together, you know, trying to stay hip, whatever the new slang is. Because I see him conferring with somebody. Like, everything he does and say, he kind of look over his shoulder and somebody yells something. And then he's like, chatter Bob. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not coming from you. You know what I'm saying? You're so out of touch of what's going on in the street, because street rules has always been, you leave the women alone, you leave the children alone, you leave the elderly alone, and you don't fuck with the dead. You know what I'm saying? So now when I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, who raised this nigga? You like 50 years old. You're supposed to be an OG to some people. Who did you put under your wing that you OGing right now? If you probably got somebody younger than you yelling over your shoulder, telling you what slang to say, telling you what to say. What is your thing with Tupac? Because if somebody come bust you over your fucking head for talking crazy, because that's what happens, it's certain dialogue that you use that incites violence. I don't give a fuck. When you talk about somebody who's gone, people still love this man. And I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about family members and close personal friends still love this man. I have beef with certain people that I don't like, that have died or might be in jail or whatever. And I could say shit about them, but what's the fucking point? They're not here. So with somebody like a Flex, when he says, yeah, if niggas got a problem with me, you know where I'm at, nigga, you're bodyguarded up, and you have openly admitted that you'll call the cops, that you're a snitch. You openly admitted that you will call the cops. So when it comes to street shit, and it comes to street lingo, and it comes to street etiquette, how can I fight somebody on the streets when they're gonna go to the law? I can't fight the law. I'm gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? So I think Tupac fucked his girl. Tupac fucked one of his girls. You know, because I never seen somebody have a disdain and hatred for somebody who's been, you know, with all due respect, the man is probably decomposed and the cat, well, I think he was cremated. At the end of the day, he's gone. His memory lives here. His music lives here. And some of the great things he did. But why try to prove a point about somebody 20 years later? We have enemies. As a black man, Flex has enemies. I don't see him go hard on none of our enemies of black people. I never seen him take his platform and speak out against some of the black men and women and children that were murdered by police. I never seen him take his platform to take no political stance. I never seen him do none of that shit. All I see him do is pop shit about rappers or podcasters or bloggers who can't do anything back because they're either in jail or they're deceased. So say something about...
It's ironic. It's ironic that you said, you kind of listed all the things that Flex hasn't done or all the things that Tupac did.
Exactly.
Like, there's many sides to Tupac, but one of the most important, if not the most important, is his political stance and him standing up for black people and poor people across the board. Right?
He never wavered from. Even he never wavered from that.
Right.
Even at times of, I would say, his death row insanity. But you got to understand, and not to make excuses for anybody, but if I've been shot the fuck up, if I've been accused of rape, if I've been in jail, if I've been beat up, if I've been robbed, if I've been beat up by police, I might not be in my right mind either. You know what I'm saying? And not also, black people suffer from PTSD, all of us, but he was going through it, living testament. And he was 24 years old, 22 to like 24 years old, going through hell. These kids these days, by the time they're 22, 24, they're full-blown junkies. You understand what I'm saying? This is a man who bucked that police. Everybody saying, fuck the police, I'll do this, I'll do that on Twitter and Facebook. This man let it go at the cops. You know what I'm saying? He took political stances. He stood tall when everybody cowered.
Now, when we say go at the cops, right? The situation in Atlanta where there was somebody else that Tupac had no relationship to, didn't know, was getting fucked with by two white boys. Like they was whooping up on the boy. So Tupac gets involved in it somehow, ends up pulling his thing out and shoots the white boys in their ass.
Yeah. Yep.
I've never heard anything like that before or after, and then he won. And then he went to court and won.
Look, but not only that,
like that before or after.
But not only that, see, they just so happen to be police, right? But to the naked eye, he was fighting against oppression and racism that everybody on these social networks talk about they're against, but they're fucking hashtaggers and they're armchair revolutionaries. Nobody is in the streets doing anything. And I'm not telling nobody to go out there and shoot somebody or do anything, but I see more sharing of the violence against us than people actually taking a stand. Because, if I'm in a situation and I see somebody being oppressed or some shit, I'm going to get physical. That's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to see nobody bullying no woman or children. I don't give a fuck if it's the mother. If you yell at your own child and call them a dumb bastard, I'm gonna be like, whoa, you bugging out right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm against anybody being treated wrong unfairly, So my whole thing is, you have Flex who, you doing it for the likes, my nigga. You doing it because you cold. I mean, just all honesty, you doing it because you cold. You are a DJ. A DJ's job is to play records.
Yes, sir.
Play fucking records. Why does your political belief and your political stance mean anything if it's not anything that's going to uplift people? Why are you so negative? Because energy don't lie. So now you put energy out there that's very negative. So when the shit come back to you, don't go to the law. Like I said, when certain people catch up to you and ask you in your face as a man, where you stand on these situations, don't talk about, I'm calling the cops. Don't be like, I'm going to rat. I'm going to do this. That shit is some sucker shit. Stand up like a man, make them same fucking faces, talk that same strong language, have them same, little buzzwords that you're using, and stand in people's face. Because in disrespecting the dead, you're disrespecting the living. Now, Tupac can't physically do anything to you because he's no longer here. But there's people who will take that bounty up for you disrespecting Tupac, and they're still alive. He still has a sister that's alive. He still has a brother that's alive. He still has a stepfather that's alive. He still have close personal friends that he broke bread with that shared food with, that he gave money to, that gave him money, that's alive and love him. That's who you have to respect. And I think Flex is looking at Tupac, the rapper, and not paying attention to Tupac, the human being, the brother, the son, the cousin, the uncle. And for those people who look at him, not the rapper, because he just happened to rap.
Yeah.
You know, some of us just happen to do these things, but that doesn't make us not human anymore. You know what I'm saying? So when you say fuck Doggie Diamonds, it's people who like, what the fuck you say that for? You understand what I'm saying? And I'm here living and I can speak up for myself and defend myself. But if I wasn't here, imagine how people would speak up for me. So with the Tupac thing, I just think it's just corny. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to think of his angle. I'm just trying to think of what's his reason. And I see him crying. And I'm just like, yo, this nigga's a fucking clown, man. Like, I'm just really looking at him like, yo, out of all the things you could be doing and fighting for, don't you have children? Like, go read to your children, man. Educate your children. Like, you really on IG Live spending hours and you're getting all people involved, and C's dumbass almost got caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? Just thirsty for a look all the time. He almost got caught up in it. You know, it's just, and then it's like, I look at people like Flex that's like, yo, I'm going down and I want Mad Lover in here. I want Mr. C in here. I want Little C's in here, and I want everybody in here, and I want them to chime in. So when they take me down, this shit bigger than Nino Brown. I'm taking everybody down with me. And that's why I was just like, yo, when it comes to disrespecting people who's dead, everybody knows about my battles, well-known battles with Q from World Star. You know what I'm saying? I don't like him in life. I don't like him in death. But he's gone. You don't see me going out there trashing him and saying, yo, fuck that nigga, rest in pit. I'm not going to do that. Because again, there is people who love, respect him, and for what he did for them. So I have to respect them. I don't have to care about him, but I have to respect the living. Yeah. And that's just rules. Unless if you don't want to respect the living, then be able to deal with and be ready to deal with the living when they come for you without calling the law. Because that's all that street shit you talking. Streets is not calling the police.